Welcome to the exciting rebirth of Superstar, featuring choose your membership rate as low as just $3 a month. At Superstar, you get expanded, exclusive video scopes each and every week, unlimited access to special horoscopes, class passes for Synchronicity University, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. Hello, fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of July 25th, 2021. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological week without a doubt. The big news, right? The glitz, the glam, the glory goes to Jupiter. As it should, because it is going to be on Wednesday that Jupiter will retrograde out of its ancient ruling sign of Pisces and move back into the sign of Aquarius. Now, we've had Jupiter in the sign of Aquarius recently, relatively recently. It was in late 2020 that Jupiter moved into the sign of Aquarius, and it was just in May that Jupiter stepped out of Aquarius into Pisces for a little bit, now retrograding back until the last days of this year. So this move of Jupiter now is going to characterize much of the rest of 2021 for a lot of us out there. Jupiter, of course, is thought of and conceptualized as Santa Claus, right? We like to think that Jupiter brings gifts, certainly brings hope, and helps us to be more optimistic. But that isn't the only side of Jupiter. Jupiter also encourages us to look more deeply within, to heal where we need to heal so that we can embrace something that feels more inspired, so that we can tap into genuine enthusiasm. Sometimes we do have to reach a place of deep self-honesty to get there. And I think that is going to be a key theme for this week, not only because of Jupiter, but also because of what Jupiter's doing and other planetary alignments as well. The main alignment, the more dominant energy this particular week comes down to what we call an opposition. And this is two planets standing across the sky from each other. And as Jupiter steps into a brand new sign, or rather retrogrades back into the sign that it has been in recently, Jupiter will, the following day on Thursday, stand across the sky from Mars. Now, at this point, Mars is at the very end of the sign of Leo. And of course, Jupiter retrograding back into Aquarius is at the very end of that sign as well. And this is what astrologers call anaretic degrees. And what that means is these are points of concentration. And some ancient astrologers have called this crisis points as well. There is a sense of things coming to a culmination and perhaps holding elements that feel very fated, very karmic. Well, with these two planets standing across from each other, all of us are going to reach an important moment of honesty where it comes to how it is that we've been tapping into Jupiterian energy. Now, I have spoken about this particular alignment at length in the Jupiter special horoscope, so I will link to that video below because I do think that this represents one of the major peak moments of Jupiter moving through Aquarius. Right from late 2020 right to the end of 2021. This is one of those big, important moments as part of understanding what Jupiter in Aquarius is meant to mean for us as a collective, but individually as well. And so you look at the energy of Mars and Jupiter standing across the sky from each other. And one of the words that comes to mind is over the top. Like that's one of the first things that comes to mind as I look at this. Exaggeration, demonstration. It is Mars that's in the sign of Leo, and Leo is an energy of confidence. It's an energy of knowing that there is something within you that is worthy of shining and being seen. It's a very individual energy, though. It is about acknowledging one's own specialness and allowing that to come forward, allowing that to be seen, owning it more fully, which is a beautiful gift of that vibration. But of course, the lower end of that vibration can be hyper-focused on the self. And then we go to the other extreme, and that is across the sky, right? Not only is Jupiter across the sky from Mars, but also the sign of Aquarius is across the sky from the sign of Leo. And Aquarius has to do with others, with the collective, with thinking of the higher good, if you will. Now, that can be very subjective, of course, but it is still a highly individualistic sign. It is willing to be out there and go its own way, be rebellious for a higher good, but also without a cause, for its own sake. That is the lower vibration of this energy. And so you put these on opposite ends to each other. And what we have here is all of us reaching an important turning point moment. Where is it that we are allowing other people in as part of creating blessings for ourselves and others? And where is it now that we may need to practice self-care? Where is it that we may need to listen to our own hearts and let that guide the way? But where is it that we can still be open to the wisdom of others to see how it has been done? Where is it that, yes, think of ourselves and practice self-love, but also think about the higher good for all concerned? This is going to be part of some of the tension that's going to play out now. Now, for some people, this tension may play out in our one-on-one alliances. That is the very nature of the opposition. But sometimes it's also different parts of ourselves that we feel are not necessarily integrated well or getting along well. One thing I can say, though, is that Mars is adrenaline. It is an activating principle. And Jupiter expands. So we can see here that passions will be running very high. There is a certain intensity here that may feel over the top. Certain statements of specialness may feel over the top as well. The thing to remember, of course, is I like to say, I mean, this is something that I learned from my parents. None of us is entitled to anything, right? You get the great privilege sometimes. For some of us on this planet, we have the great privilege of being able to align with a path of self-actualization, to work on our own behalf, to move ourselves in a direction that we feel is going to allow us to be well used for the things that we like within ourselves. But none of us is necessarily entitled to anything. We do our best and we surrender the rest. And know that sometimes some of the best things can show up for us. And sometimes we earn them, and sometimes they are more on the side of a blessing. And so we may have to watch some of this contrast playing out in our external environment with other people, but also within ourselves as well. And that is part of, or one of, the great gifts of this time. That sense of forward momentum is there. Remember, the sign of Aquarius is the energy of the future. And all of us are glimpsing the future, collectively and individually as well. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some sort of political statements or actions that took place that represented forward progress or greater equality for more of us than we have known before. But it is also possible that within ourselves, we are embracing different parts of ourselves, embracing our specialness, but also giving other people permission to be exactly who it is that they need to be without necessarily judging it from our own lens. And that can be a very powerful practice. A practice of self-love, but also love for others that fuses together and strengthens each other. Now, the other important opposition that is going to be playing out this week, well, that happens at the beginning of the week, right out of the gate. Mercury will stand across the sky from Pluto. This is a rather intense energy, I have to say. Mercury is in the sign of Cancer. And that energy has to do with home and family, but also country and patriotism and whatever it is that that may mean to you. Having Pluto across the sky can bring with it fervor, it can bring with it intensity. But the thing is that Mercury moves quick. And so this energy will come strong, but it will also pass very quickly as well. And so all of us may be considering matters of our past, may feel as if emotions are stirring or something is being dredged up that is very deep, that may not necessarily feel comfortable. Our interactions with our family members will look, if we're lucky, we have overall very harmonious interactions with our family members, but that isn't the case for many of us out there. And where it is that there are power struggles or power games even that play out within certain family dynamics, some of that may come to the surface now, may feel like it's very much right there for us to feel fully, and maybe feel like our buttons are being pushed in a way that is uncomfortable. And I'm so sorry to say, but that does happen. But remember, the higher vibration of Pluto is always truth. That is the higher understanding of that energy. And so whatever may be transpiring, if it is that we can practice healthy detachment where possible. Now, I know that that can be hard sometimes. It may not be easy to take a step back, especially when some communication has our own energies and emotions running very high. But where it is that we are able to practice healthy detachment, I think we will find ourselves that much more able to embrace what wisdom could be playing out. And some of that wisdom may be seeing a deeper truth, the deeper wounds within other people that are leading them to want to provoke others, the deeper things within ourselves that we now may be ready to heal, to practice that level of acceptance within ourselves that can free us from another person having the power to push our buttons. That may be part of the great gift of this time, but that's also part of the work that isn't always easy. Now, planets are on the move, okay? Mercury, very quickly after this opposition, is going to move into the sign of Leo. And this takes place right around Monday or Tuesday, depending on where you are on the planet. And with this move of Mercury, the energy shifts very quickly. So like I said, the intensity represents a moment. We will address it in our own unique ways, in our own unique circumstances. And if we choose to learn from it, the rewards can be there as well. But then very quickly, the energy dissipates. It's almost like it happened and you let it go. We move forward. And with Mercury moving into the sign of Leo, well, chances are we will be considering and talking about and communicating about and contemplating what it is that we want in our heart of hearts and what it means to shine forward from the heart in the world. To own our worthiness, well, that is a very powerful practice. And sometimes it takes a very diligent practice. It takes paying attention to our thoughts, to our own minds, to make sure that we are speaking to ourselves in ways that affirm our unique light. And that may be part of the gift in the weeks ahead as Mercury moves through the sign of Leo. Now, another planet on the move happens on Thursday, and that is Mars, changing signs, moving into the sign of Virgo. This happens right after the opposition, like literally less than 5 hours or so after the opposition of Mars and Jupiter. We have Mars changing signs. And as Mars moves into the sign of Virgo, we are encouraged to consider what is taking place in our smaller moments, to see the sacred there in our smallest moments, in those interactions that we have frequently with others. It is likely going to be an increased focus on feeling better. That is going to be something that a lot of us are going to be more interested in moving forward from here. And it is also very possible that more of us are going to be looking at those connections we have with others, like clients, customers, coworkers, immediate supervisors. We'll be looking at the work we're doing, what it is that we're giving our hours to. You know, there is a very famous book by Malcolm Gladwell. He is one of my favorite authors. I quote him from time to time. It is called Outliers, and it invites us to look at success differently. And one of the chapters in this book, Outliers, is called 10,000 Hours. And it is rooted in this idea that anything that we do for 10,000 hours, we become an expert at. And anything you do for 10,000 hours, anything you practice, things that you repeatedly do, you will, as a natural outcome, become an expert. You develop expertise through practice itself. You show yourself you know what you're doing by doing it repeatedly. So what is it that is worth your 10,000 hours? And what is it that isn't? Well, that may be part of the consideration for a lot of us out there. A lot of us may be looking at where it is that perhaps we can improve or be better or strengthen ourselves, so that we're giving our 10,000 hours to a place and to activities that are meaningful, that feel like they matter to us and perhaps even to others as well. What I love about this week for us, well, look, it's a powerful astrological week without a doubt. Fully 3 planets are changing signs. Now, yes, Mercury changes signs frequently, right? Every 3 or 4 weeks or so, Mercury will move into a brand new sign. Of course, the Mercury retrograde throws that on its head, but we don't have to worry about that right now. Thank goodness. Exhale on that. And of course, Mars, as I just mentioned, is moving into sign of Virgo. But the very big news, the more rare move happens with Jupiter. Jupiter retrograding back into the sign of Aquarius is a very big deal. This is going to invite, and I have to say, with Jupiter standing across the sky from Mars, think about Jupiter mythologically. This is the Greek and Roman god of thunder and the greatest of all gods, right? The head of the gods, the king of the gods, if you will. And so Jupiter representing thunder and lightning, well, look, being shown with a thunderbolt, I do think with this opposition to Mars, all of us are going to have some sort of a light bulb moment. And for some, it may feel like lightning. It is Aquarius that is the energy of genius as well. It's the energy of new ideas. It's the energy of the spark, the energy of electricity itself. And so all of us may feel in our own unique ways as if we've had a brilliant idea or a new insight that can change just about everything for us. Now, that is a very powerful thing to occur. And the fact that part of this insight ultimately is going to lead us to ourselves. That's Mars and Leo. It's going to invite us to look at ourselves more deeply, look at our true motivations, where it is that we are living from a place of selfishness and ego, and where it is instead we can align with genuine, heartfelt worthiness. Because when we do that, when we own our shine and it is rooted in love, we give everyone else permission to own their shine and do what it is that they love. And that is part of the great gift of this energy, even if it doesn't necessarily feel comfortable. Light bulb moments don't always feel comfortable. Sometimes realizing the truth, especially when it comes on quickly, can be uncomfortable and yet can lend itself to some of the greatest rewards, because the truth inherently means it is real, it is honest. And if it's honest, then it is also good. And if it's good and it's good for you, well, chances are your insights will lead you to your unique genius, to your unique brilliance. And this energy this week will empower you to own that genius, to know that you are worthy of shining it forward, and you are worthy of the happiness and the satisfaction that living from that place of honoring your light and honoring your genius can bring. Well, thank you so much for watching. What do you love about this week? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading you guys. And to prove it to you, here are some of my most recent favorite comments. Thank you to everybody who likes, who comments, who subscribes, who shares, who thumbs ups, all of it. It means so much. Thank you for the love and the support that you continue to give my work. I'm so grateful for it. And of course, if you want to know how all this wonderful stuff this week speaks to you in your sign, well, log on to Nadiya Shah Superstars with choose your membership rate. As low as just $3 a month gets you access to expanded exclusive video scopes for each and every sign, each and every week for just $3 a month. Higher tiers get you things like unlimited class passes to Synchronicity University, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space. Link is in the description below, or visit NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. I look forward to meeting you there. Synchronicity University, huge announcement, the conference event of the year. Synchronicity University has teamed up with the London School of Astrology. Now, the London School of Astrology is very prestigious. I feel incredibly excited about this. It's something that I've been working on with the London School of Astrology for a while now. And we are launching an incredible Autumn Equinox event. Now, with this event, you get access to a weekend full of some of the brightest, most impressive, legendary minds in astrology today, up and coming stars as well. And this is a celebration of astrology, so you're going to get lots of different astrological perspectives here also. Everything from the evolutionary to the Mayan to the psychological to the traditional and so much more. And so if you use code SU50, so the SU stands for Synchronicity University, SU50 at synchronicityuniversity.com, you get 50% off the conference pass. And so this conference is going to be taking place over the autumn equinox weekend. That is in September, but for a limited time and for the first 300 people who do register, you will be able to get 50% off using the code SU50. So we've got these incredibly brilliant astrologers. You will see their faces up here. I'm sure many of them look familiar. Some of them have spoken at Synchronicity University before. Others are stars in their own right. You know them, you've seen them. They are big movers in astrology. But to learn more about this truly incredible event, I am calling it the conference event of the year, this online conference event that is set to take place in September. Well, you can log on to synchronicityuniversity.com. Remember to use that coupon code SU50 to get 50% off for a limited time. And I'm so very excited about this event. And I really look forward to celebrating the autumn equinox, this very special upcoming autumn equinox with you at synchronicityuniversity.com. Link is in the description below. Synchronicity University September Speaker Series is now choose your tuition rate as low as just $5 a class until the end of August. And for that, you get access to incredible classes that are going to be taking place over the course of September. Brilliant astrological minds, including Mark Lawrenson, who is going to be teaching on sacred hurdles. We have my friend, Priya Kale. Priya is going to be teaching on Chiron, one of her favorite subjects, and she's just so amazing. We are going to have Bear River, and he's going to be teaching on understanding planetary days for practical magic. Philip Miles, that you've seen on my channel before, is going to be teaching about progressions. And Cassia Christoph is going to be teaching about the axes of the signs from an evolutionary perspective. So we've got these incredible classes, brilliant astrologers, as low as just $5 a class with choose your tuition rate at synchronicityuniversity.com. I look forward to meeting you in class. And the autumn session of Synchronicity University classes by me are choose your tuition rate right now as well, as low as just $5 a class. I've got lots of very exciting classes coming up this autumn, and for a limited time, you can choose your tuition rate. And so what are some of these classes? We're going to have more on the 9th house, on the 5th house. We're going to be talking about the midheaven, so that's going to be very exciting. We'll be looking at Pallas Athena. We'll also have how to write horoscopes, because that's something that a lot of up-and-coming astrologers like to ask me about. So I'll be teaching on that. And I'll also be looking at power couples and strong bonds and what astrological symbols could be there. That's going to be a really fun class. We're going to go through the charts of several power couples out there. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So we are set to have a lot of fun this autumn. I'm going to be around. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys every Saturday afternoon this fall. And so you can sign up now for a limited time as low as just $5 a class at synchronicityuniversity.com. And yes, I do look forward to meeting you in class. Mayan Astrology, the book by Synchronicity Publications. Well, it is available right now for advanced copy sales that are going to be shipped out at the end of September. The book will officially belong to the world and be available everywhere November 11th. And so Mayan Astrology, the English version, is co-written by me and my friend, renowned Mayan astrology expert, Nadiya Robles. Now, Nadiya is also going to be teaching at the conference that I spoke about just a moment ago. that I am doing, Synchronicity University and the London School of Astrology are doing. So you'll be able to hear her there as well. But yes, to get this book is very exciting for a whole lot of reasons. One of the reasons is, if you've watched me for a while, you know I've lived in Mexico for the last 8.5 years. It is a place that is very near and dear to my heart. So to be part of sharing this wisdom from such a brilliant mind is truly very rewarding for me. Now, Yuridia's own Spanish language version of this book is also going to be available through Synchronicity Publications, but that is not going to have advanced sales, but rather will be available November 11th to the world and wherever books are sold. So as we get closer to that, I'll let you know, I'll share those links. But for now, yes, get your advanced copy of the English language version by me and my friend Yuridia. Link is in the description below. Now it does come with like $250 worth of free gifts, including a free class with Yuridia on Mayan astrology. This book looks at the sun signs of Mayan astrology, but it also looks at compatibility, which really helps you to understand your relationships with others, which can be very fun and very exciting to do. It is a book that is packed with wisdom that helps us to understand the Mayan astrological signs, to deepen your own astrological practice, and so much more. So you can get your advanced copy now by clicking on the link in the description below or going to synchronicitypublications.com. Canadian Astrology Conference is right around the corner. It is happening at the end of September. And the great thing about the Canadian Astrology Conference is that Canadian dollars, well, look, if you're American, you're getting a huge discount, or can feel like a big discount because of the conversion rate. But having said that, brilliant astrologers are going to be teaching at this conference. The keynote is Demetra George, living legend Demetra George. But I will be speaking there as well, and I'm going to be speaking about Alan Leo, esoteric astrology, and how important he was to helping astrology move from ancient to modern. He represents an important bridge. So I'll really be getting my nerdy hat on. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And you can learn more about the Canadian Astrology Conference at astrologyconference.ca. And finally, you can get my take on your unique birth chart by logging on to Cosmogram and checking out my partnership with them. Link is in the description below. With Cosmogram, you go onto their website, you enter in your birth data, and within hours, you will get a PDF of your chart and my explanation of the different placements within that chart as well. And so there is a sample reading available on the Cosmogram website, so you know exactly what it is that you are going to get. Of course, I always affirm love and wisdom in all the placements in your chart. And so have a look. Log on to Cosmogram by using the link in the description below. And thank you for your love. Thank you for your trust in my interpretation of your sky. And thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. I'm so grateful for you. Now, I think I want to have a party for Jupiter going back into Aquarius. I'm very excited about this. I am an Aquarius, so of course I would be. But I think that this can be a lovely energy for a lot of us out there if we will embrace it, which of course we will. If you think back, what was late 2020 and the first part of 2021 like for you? Like, where did you feel most hopeful and most expansive and most connected? Well, that feeling will revisit, but better. That is part of the months ahead as Jupiter moves back into the sign of Aquarius. It is something worth celebrating for all of us out there in our own unique ways, understanding our blessings more deeply before we get to the end of the year and Jupiter moves back into Pisces and all the wonderful things set to take place there. So there's a Jupiter in Aquarius special horoscope. There's a Jupiter in Pisces special horoscope. Both are up on my YouTube channel, and I will link to them below. I hope that you love them. And thank you again for watching. Thank you for being here. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.